My colleague Meenakshi Bhanja, who is reporting from outside the Supreme Court, where the CBI crisis is in fact come up for hearing. Meenakshi, before you quickly take us through the updates, we understand the matter has been adjourned to Tuesday. No clean chit as yet. The CBI chief the top court yet to decide Alok Verma's fate. I'm sorry. Take us through what exactly has happened in court, Meenakshi.
Well, yes, Sanjana, as we speak, the matter is still underway, but this is the broad contour of the order which is emerging. The Supreme Court has ordered for the CVC report to be shared with Solicitor General Alok Verma, CBI Director, who is supposed to file his reply to this report also in a sealed cover. The Supreme Court has asked for the contents of this report to be kept confidential, and there has been some indication of what this report really contains from Honorable Chief Justice of India. He has gone on to state as to how there are certain parts of the report which are complementary, certain other parts of the report which are uncomplimentary, which may require further probe. So with that, the matter for now stands adjourned to Tuesday, is the initial report that we are picking up from our sources inside the courtroom. Remember, this is still a matter which is very, very high stake. We had Mukul Rohtagi for Rakesh Asthana also want access to this report, and he is the former Attorney General of India. So clearly this is a report which is a very high value report,
right.
And that is the reason the Honorable Chief Justice of India has not delved into the details of this report in open court, but at the same time there is a clear indication from the Honorable Chief Justice of India about how this report is not a black or white report. It's not a black or white report. It's not an either or report. It is a report which has certain elements which, according to Honorable Chief Justice of India Ranjan Gogoi, is mixed in nature. There are certain aspects which, according to Honorable Chief Justice of India, is complementary. Certain other aspects which are uncomplimentary, which may require further probe. So that is the grey area that we are in the midst of, where the Supreme Court is looking to attain clarity or attain some sort of further clarity in order to really go ahead and make a conclusive decision on this one. But again, the important part of the news breaking at this part is that at this point of time is that there is not a long date of hearing that the Supreme Court has put on this one. We are today on a Friday, and the matter has been posted further for Tuesday. So in this time, in the interim time, Alok Verma will be also expected to file his reply in a sealed cover to the contents of this report. And this report has been shared with the Attorney General and the Solicitor General, who was making a representation for the CVC. So that is how things stand at this moment, Sanjana, vis-a-vis this particular case,
right.
Which has gone on to assume a lot of contours, not just a legal aspect, but it has gone on to assume a lot of political overtures as well.
Right, Meenakshi, so just to clarify, will the CVC probe report be available to Rakesh Asthana and Mukul Rohtagi? Let's remember who's appearing for Rakesh Asthana, who requested for access to this report. And the Supreme Court also asking Alok Verma to file his reply to the CVC report in a sealed cover.
Well, at this juncture, we are not very clear if Rakesh Asthana has been given a copy of this report. Attorney General would be the current incumbent Attorney General, Government of India, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who have been granted a copy of this report. Mukul is for Rakesh Asthana. In the Supreme Court, he wanted to have access to this report. We will be confirming that in a bit from now, Sanjana, what the contours of the final order of the Supreme Court is, because remember, we are breaking news as it's happening inside courtroom in real time, and therefore we are bringing to our viewers the exchanges that the bench is engaging in with the counsels. And Tushar Mehta is the solicitor. He was also representing CVC, and he wanted a copy of the report, to which the Supreme Court made a very pertinent observation, which was also a little amusing when the Supreme Court told told him that you are the author of this report, you as in Tushar Mehta, because he's representing CVC, and how is it possible that he does not know the contents of the report himself? Very quickly, Sanjana, I'm also being joined here by Sarthak Nayak, who was present inside the court. Sarthak, very quickly, what do you make of today's hearing? Do you think it is just, stretching on the Honorable Chief Justice of India today, indicating very clearly that there is something complimentary and also there is something uncomplimentary?
Listen, the Honorable Chief Justice of India said that the report was provided in a sealed cover.
Yeah.
Therefore, in order to maintain the sanctity of what everything is going on, it is required that Alok Verma should be provided with a copy in the sealed cover, and also he should reply it in a sealed cover to the Honorable Supreme Court of India.
Yeah.
And the next date of hearing is Tuesday. Therefore, what is exactly written in the CVC report, nobody knows. Whatever is being discussed is only hypothetical. Therefore, unless and until somebody has a look into the CVC report, no conclusion can be drawn. Therefore, we have to wait patiently till Tuesday in order to ascertain what exactly is in the report and what is the reply.
So you think Tuesday is going to be now pivotal for the Supreme Court to arrive at a conclusion, if or not the midnight crackdown of the government was something which was justified? Because today there is a clear indication that it is not a black or white report. There is something complimentary and there is something also uncomplimentary in the said report.
If a report has been given, then the person who has filed the case has also been given a chance to reply to those reports. Therefore, after taking into consideration the perspective of both the parties, only some conclusion can be drawn. Therefore, we have to ascertain what is written in the CVC report and also what is written in the reply. After that only, the Honorable Supreme Court can pass any order. Therefore, it would be absolutely hypothetical and premature at this stage to say exactly in which direction the case is going to go.
But we are looking at some sort of a finality at least by Tuesday, in your opinion?
In my opinion, Tuesday will be a very crucial date, and the matter should go to its logical end on Tuesday itself, unless and until there is some future developments.
Okay. So, Sanjana, there you have it. Sarthak Naik, he was present in the courtroom. He's also a very eminent criminal advocate in his individual capacity, who has made representations for a lot of people in the past. And therefore, it is important to really, understand the significance of all that has happened. Because remember, this is something which is happening as per the process established by law. And whosoever is a party in this, including Alok Verma, remember how he presented himself for further examination before the CVC when called upon to do so. And subject to that, there was this comprehensive report that was prepared in a time-bound manner of 14 days. Now, even that is quite a significant feat, given the fact that we are looking at a time-bound inquiry being concluded. The inquiry report has been submitted in a sealed cover to the Supreme Court. We have received some sort of an indication about the broad contours of the said report, which Supreme Court is going to heavily rely upon. This has some aspects which are complementary, and Honorable Chief Justice of India clearly indicating that it also has certain other aspects which are uncomplimentary, and therefore those aspects require further probe. And as is a part of natural justice and due process, even Alok Verma has been asked to file his responses in a sealed cover, and the Supreme Court is safeguarding the sanctity of this report by ensuring that the copy is really not shared or spread across the board, across the spectrum, by limiting the sharing of this report to only the main concerned parties. In this case, CVC, the Solicitor Tushar Mehta, the Attorney General, and of course Alok Verma, because he is a main party in the case. He will also be expected to file his responses in a sealed cover. So therefore, the court is understanding somewhere the sanctity of this matter, is understanding the high sensitivity that this case has, and therefore, Sanjana, it becomes all the more important for the Supreme Court to really go ahead and analyze this case from all perspectives before it arrives at its logical conclusion, because this is a case which will go on to have huge political implication also across the political spectrum. Because remember, we are not just looking at Lok Sabha 2019, but the winter session of Parliament is slated to begin sometime soon. So clearly, this is a high-stake, important matter for the Government of India, where the government will want to come out looking good. The government will want its actions to be upheld by the Supreme Court, and for that to happen, it is very essential that the Supreme Court follows all the due processes which is established by law, and the Supreme Court is satisfied that really the way the government proceeded, as was explained by Union Minister Arun Jaitley, that this was the best course of action for the government to take, given the fact that this was quite an unprecedented situation where the Prime Minister was compelled to act in this manner to restore the original glory of the agency back, is something that the Supreme Court really goes on to accept in its final ultimate conclusion and analysis of this entire imbroglio that we have seen play out in public domain.
Absolutely, Meenakshi. Definitely a high-octane battle expected on Tuesday. Thank you so much for putting that in perspective and giving us all the details. We'll continue tracking the story and come to you for more.